You are listening to the Southwestern American Choral Directors Association Connections podcast, where we will interview choral directors, leaders, and movers and shakers within our region. I'm your host, Dr. Jeff Wall. We hope you enjoy these conversations. Please like and subscribe this YouTube channel for future content. Hello, everyone. I have tried to correct some of the audio mistakes I made in the first episode with Margie Camp. I have a new microphone set up here with a different computer, so I hope that this audio comes across a little cleaner this time, and I hope you think so too. Today I have the pleasure to connect with Jonathan Owen. Jonathan is a retired choral director as of May 2018, after about 30 years as a Missouri public school music teacher. His choirs have performed for Missouri Music Educators Association Conference in several years, and also has performed for the Music Educators National Conference, now known as National Association for Music Education. I won't read his entire bio here, but I encourage you to go down to the description of this video and read all of Jonathan's accomplishments. He is our SWACDA president-elect, so I'm happy for you to get to know Jonathan a little better. Here we go with Jonathan Owen. It's good to have you with us for this Limitless Connections. As you know, as we've talked about kind of behind the scenes, we're recording these podcast style interviews so that folks in our region can get to know you, understand people behind the scenes, get a little bit of insight of who you are and what you do in the world and that kind of thing. So let's start there. Okay. Jonathan Owen, who is Jonathan Owen, and what is your musical upbringing?
Okay. I am a retired high school choral director. I taught for 30 years here in Missouri. In my retirement, I do church job, organist and accompanist. I have been an adjunct at a university and also a studio accompanist there, and taught preschool music 3 mornings a week at the church preschool. And then I've also accompanied at an area high school. So I've tried to keep busy in my retirement. My musical upbringing, I was from a really musical family, and it wasn't that my parents were trained. They were, my mom was very, very gifted, and had she had the support and opportunities that so many of us have had, I can't imagine what she could have done, because she wrote songs, wrote poetry. My dad took piano lessons when he was little for a little while, but they made sure that we all had music and piano lessons. I played trumpet and French horn. Had a great elementary music teacher who actually just 2 or 3 weeks ago passed away. She was 112 years old. She had retired when I was in 5th grade. Took piano lessons and was taught to love music by my teachers. So
that's great.
Does that answer that?
Yeah, I think so. So tell us a little bit more about now your role with Southwestern ACDA and what you're looking forward to with this upcoming conference as well.
Yeah, I'm president-elect for Southwestern ACDA. What I'm looking forward to is working more with Jeff Murdoch and with you, Jeff Wall. I've appreciated getting to know you guys, and Jeff has such great insight and such great planning that he's some new exciting things that he's planning for this conference, and I really can't wait to help him implement those.
Good deal. So okay, so getting into sort of choral music specifically, what's a piece of music that you think maybe best embodies your personality?
Okay. I'm going to say Gloria by Jeffrey Ricard. I think that's how you say his last name. It's energetic. There's a lot of things going on in it. Some things are kind of overlapping. And then there's a time of kind of calmness and rest and peace. And then it comes back. So I hope I'm coming back.
That's great. That's great. So here's a little offshoot of that, but maybe I'm kind of putting you on the spot here, but what is your desert island choral piece? Only one that you could have with you.
Wow. Okay, I'm going to say Blow Ye the Trumpet, TTBB, Kirk Meacham.
Ooh, good choice. Good choice.
Thank you.
Okay. So what is, or maybe do you have a particular philosophy of programming when you're programming a concert?
I think for a general concert that was for the parents and family members and community, um, of course, I tried to um, program music that would be educational, different time periods, kind of all the things we're supposed to do. I also tried to make sure I had things that the students enjoyed, and some of those were the same. But I also tried to have some things that I knew the students would love and not get tired of. And I also tried to pick things that I knew I would not get tired of, because I think we've all done that, where we pick some pieces and then 2 weeks in, you're thinking, why did I pick this piece of music? I'm tired of hearing it. And that happened a few times in my teaching career. We'd be working on something and I would be like, but you keep going, and because it has the educational value, or it's because it fits in the program. Yeah.
Good answer. Okay. How would you maybe describe what a typical rehearsal would look like under Jonathan Owen's direction?
Well, I think in all of the things that I've done, I've tried to keep the rehearsal moving. I usually had a pattern with the high school students. I'd have a pattern of, we'd warm up, sight read, get busy, hit the music, try to end with something that they enjoyed or that they could actually do really well. And then I would there's been some things I put in extra, like I have a friend here in Missouri, Beth and Lo Fritz, who does a notebook for all of her students. And they have a question that they answer every week, or I did it like once every week or once every 2 weeks. And then you can answer them back in their notebooks. And then after 4 years, the students get to keep their notebook with all of the stuff in it. I was not great at keeping up with that. Beth was wonderful at that. But that I kind of implemented that in. We also, every so often, we would do, like, we called it family time. And I basically divided the kids up in groups of like 6 or 8. And this is a non-musical thing, but I think it helped our musical things go better. Just a time for the kids to get to know each other and kind of build community.
Yeah, you have part of your answer there, I think, is going to be similar for a lot of folks that we interview, just in the way that the rehearsal is structured. But I really like some of your answers there with the family time and the notebook. I think that's some innovative takeaways that maybe some listeners could implement in their own classroom. That's awesome.
Thanks. Yeah, and I got those ideas from other people, so I think that's the important takeaway from that too, is you can't do everything yourself.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's right. Yeah. I feel like everything we do is sort of a reimagined idea of things we've experienced or heard before too.
Right.
So what, kind of leading into this next question then, so what are some pointers or advice maybe you have for emerging choral leaders?
Well, first of all, I would say to join a CDA and get connected. But I would say to reach out to other people. I'll be honest, I wasn't always the best at that. I thought, when I was a young teacher, I'm pretty sure I thought I knew everything. And the longer I taught, I realized I knew less and less and less than I thought I knew. And I think it's so important for younger teachers and people that are kind of emerging as leaders to reach out to others, especially if they're struggling. Even if you're not struggling, reach out, share ideas, have somebody come listen to your choir, and a fresh set of ears is always great. And even if they say, the very same thing that you've said, your kids, your students, your singers are hearing it from a different voice. And if you have ideas that work really well for you, that you think helped you become a better teacher or be a better person or whatever, share those with friends, share those with colleagues. Don't be an island of, I know everything, I will do all. You don't. And you need somebody else, and somebody else needs you.
That's great. That's great. Yeah. There's I'm also going to throw you another curveball here, since you are sort of recently retired. I'm calling you semi-retired just because you have so many other jobs that you do. But what pointers or advice might you have for those that are nearing retirement?
Well, so here's a little story leading into that. I was in Little Rock at the Southwestern meeting there the last time, and I was sitting at a table, and a young director who I don't really know was talking to an older director who I do know. And after we'd been introduced, this person said, "Why would they ask a retired person to be president-elect for SWACDA?" And this person said something really nice. And it really, at first I was like taken back, like, what? Why would you ask that? And then it kind of made sense to me, thinking about it. I think for somebody getting ready to retire, I think I would say it is nice to retire. It's nice when you've, put in your time, you've done the years. It's nice not to have to set an alarm. It's nice not to have a schedule you have to do. But I think it's important for people who are retired or getting ready to retire. You're still alive. So there are so many things that you could do. You could be a mentor to a young teacher who's struggling in a rough school. You could either get paid or volunteer to accompany at a high school that doesn't have the funds. You could help out a university. You could teach preschool music. There's so many things you can do. You can be president-elect for an organization. If you're retired, doesn't matter. You're still breathing. So jump in.
Yeah, I think that's great advice. Great advice. So maybe you can speak to this. You talked about not setting your alarm, but what would you do to relax or fight burnout in a very highly stressful year or situation?
Well, I really enjoy listening to vinyl records. That's like I don't do it as much. I haven't been doing it as much as I like to, but back in my day, they were just called records. But now, we say vinyl and all that. Like there's some newfangled thing. I have a pretty extensive collection, and it's pretty eclectic, I think. And so it's fun just to put on some headphones. It's kind of a lost art, listening to one whole side of something and then turn it over and listen to another whole side. Look at the artwork on the album covers, read who the instrumentalists are in the group, whatever. So I think that's like my main thing that is relaxing to me.
Yeah, and we know that you're a big Carpenters fan as well.
Oh, do we? Oh, okay, yeah, yeah, we do.
Yeah, if you just take a look at Jonathan's social media, you'll find all kinds of Carpenters references. So that's great. Okay, so now we're going to enter into this Accelerando round.
Okay.
I'm still working title, but that's what we're calling it.
I like it. I like it.
So some of these have something to do with with choir, and some things have nothing to do with choir.
Okay.
So let's start. Here we go. What's the worst job you've ever had outside of choral music?
Okay, so when I was in junior college, I worked at a Taco John's, which a lot of people don't even know what that is, but I think it's more of a Western. I grew up in Kansas. And the worst job was cleaning the toilets at closing time. Yes.
Yeah, I can relate with that with some of the retail jobs I had too. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, if you had to do any other job besides being a musician of some kind, what would that be?
I would like to be a graphic designer. Well, two things. I'd like to be a graphic designer because I enjoy working on the computer. I don't think I'm great at it, but I really enjoy it. And I would like to own a restaurant, but not be the person that has to put all the money and all the work in. I just want to like decorate it and make what the menu is going to be and that kind of stuff. So
just the fun stuff.
If anybody's out there with some money, I can hook you up with myself and we can do that.
Right, just the fun stuff then. That's great.
Just the fun stuff.
I like it. Okay, so your choice here of two questions. What's the scariest moment in your life, or maybe what's your biggest phobia?
I'll go with phobia. So I used to always take kids to the music in the parks and the Worlds of Fun festivals and all that. And I loved riding rides. I love roller coasters, but I'm really afraid of heights. And so, you get on the roller coaster and it's like that whole way up. And it's like my eyes had to stay shut, because if I looked out, I would start panicking. So my eyes stayed shut the whole way. When we get to the top and we start moving, then I can open my eyes, because it doesn't feel like I'm so high, because I'm just like flying through the air. So that's a big phobia of mine, height.
Yeah, I feel like that maybe is a common one. Okay. What's something that you spend way too much money on?
Records and Fiesta ware. I say we, my wife doesn't collect it. I collect Fiesta ware.
Okay, for those who had no idea prior to knowing you what Fiesta ware was, explain Fiesta ware.
Well, it's an American-made pottery, made from the 30s through the early 70s, and then they stopped making it and brought it back in 86. It's colorful pottery. Here's a cappuccino mug. That's color is peacock, by the way. So yeah, too much money on those two things. Yeah.
Got it. That's interesting. Okay. If you could have any 4 people on the choral Mount Rushmore, who would you choose?
I love that. Starting from left to right in no particular order. Eve Ely. I think probably most of the people here know who Eve Ely is or know him. And he's talking to you, and he's busy, and he's got all these things, but when he's talking to you, he's listening to everything you say. And that's a kind of person that I want to be. I want to be Eve Ely, because he's so awesome at that. Next to Eve, I would put Bill Grace, who is a kind of a icon in Missouri. It's Gretchen Grace Harrison's dad. And he has heard my choirs from my first year teaching. He was an adjudicator and has always been supportive and lovely, just a wonderful person. It's another person to strive to be. Next, I would put Frank Pooler, who I don't know, and I don't know his choirs, but he was at California State University, Long Beach, and was the college director of the Carpenters. So, he has to be on my mount. And then I think the 4th person over would be one of the most involved Southwestern volunteer people, Margie Camp. So those are my 4 people.
That's a great answer. Yeah. And Margie was our first interview, so it's timely too. It's great.
She's great.
So what is the secret talent that most people would be surprised to learn about you?
Ooh. I don't know if I have a secret talent. I'd have to think about that. Maybe that'll be on our next podcast visit.
Great. Well, I'm raising the winner's flag here, because I've trumped somebody on these questions, so that's good. We'll think about that. Maybe we can circle back to it if you think of it later.
Okay, I'll think about that.
If you could have any superpower, what would it be?
I would want to go back in time and change some things, maybe professionally, or change some things personally that I wish I had done differently, I think. Yeah.
Interesting.
Go back in time. That's a superpower.
Time travel.
Okay. Time travel. There you go.
Gotcha. Okay. Cool. Well, congratulations. You've achieved Tempo Presto. That's the end of the Accelerando round.
Thank you so much.
So there we go.
Is there a trophy coming?
Right. No trophy. Unfortunately, sorry. All right. So who is another choral musician that you'd like to lift up?
In general, I think I'd like to lift up retired teachers. I think just to remind them that they still have a whole lot to give to people, no matter how long you've been retired. You have wisdom, you have experience. Yeah, retired teachers, get out there and do something. Do lots of things.
Yeah, I like that.
Set the alarm a couple days a week. I don't know.
But then other days, don't set your alarm, right?
Other days don't set the alarm.
Okay.
Like this morning, I didn't set the alarm. So
Got it. Got it. Good. I like that. Okay. So what are some goals that you're looking forward to in either the next year, next academic year, next season? What are you looking forward to?
yeah, I'm really looking forward to, I'll start this summer and in the fall doing site visits for the 2026 SWACDA conference. So that is really exciting to me, to get to travel, to get to see new places. Yeah, really excited about that. Excited about the conference coming up this next year. I actually have backed off with some of my professional things that I'm doing, and because of SWACDA's taking a little bit more time. So I'm excited to be at the church where I work, and excited to be accompanying at the high school. So those are kind of the things that I'm kind of thinking about for the future.
Very cool. Very cool. Okay, so to close up here and round off this interview, where can people get in touch with you if they'd like to connect with you? Email or social media? How can people get in touch with you?
I'm on Facebook, Jonathan Owen, and it even has the Southwestern logo as my backdrop or my cover page. That would be a good place you can, and I'm friends with lots of people that I don't really know very well in different states of the Southwest that I've requested just to kind of get to know them. Email is my first name, Jonathan, and then a dot, and then Owen, 1965, because that's the year I was born. I know I look much younger than that, at gmail.com.
Okay,
Yeah.
great. We'll put if you're okay with it, we'll put your email address in the description of this video too, so that people can click on that
Perfect.
and get to the email quicker.
Yeah, perfect.
Okay, great. Well, thanks for joining us today for this Connections interview. And is there anything that we did not talk about that you'd like to talk about here before we close out?
I don't think so.
Okay, great. Well, thanks for joining us, and I'll see you at the next SWACDA meeting.
I will. Yes. Thanks, Jeff.
All right, thanks. Bye-bye.